In a small village in Ireland, Ballowstown, people still remember a man who robbed $3.6 million a day. Surprisingly, he had neither a gun in his hand nor a mask on his face. After this incident, he kept roaming around openly, but the police could not even comb his hair, because he had committed all these robberies in a completely legal way. This man's name was Barney Curley, a mysterious and cunning gambler. So cunning that the players and bookies stopped gambling as soon as they heard his name. Using his brain, he not only found the weaknesses of the system, but also made them his weapon. This is the amazing story of 1975, which the world knows today as Yellow Sam Batting Coup. Welcome to Decode TV's videos. Once again, viewers, June 26, 1975, 26 kilometers from Dublin, there is a small village called Ballowstown, where horse racing was taking place. The race course was very lively. Preparations for the race were underway, people were betting money on different horses, and bookies were taking their places. But Barney Curley was nowhere to be seen. He was waiting for the race to start, hidden in the thorny bushes inside the racecourse. The reason for his hiding was the bookies present there. If they find out that Barney has also come there or his horse will run in the race, they will be alert immediately. They will even stop gambling. At that time, Barney's name was quite infamous in the gambling industry. Barney, whoever participated in the race, or could only be seen on the ground, the bookies understood that something must be wrong here. But the move he was going to take that day was the biggest and most dangerous move of his life. Barney Curley was a man who did not even spare his own father. His father, Charlie Curley, greyhounds trained dogs and raced them to gamble. At the last moment of the race, he would force his most lazy dog to run fast by giving him drugs and put all the money on him. In this way, he would deceive the bookies and make a lot of money. Barney knew very well about his father's move. One day, when he was a 15-year-old boy, Charlie told him to give him meat filled with medicine. But Barney deliberately did not give the meat to the dog. The next day, the dog lost the race. Charlie suffered a minor loss, but one person was very happy about it. That was Barney. Barney secretly fed the other dog meat with medicine and put money on it. For the first time, Barney cheated his father and earned £12, which is now $500. That is, the person who started gambling by deceiving his father, you will soon realize what he was going to do to the rest of the world. And betting, there is a gambler who bets money on horses, and if his horse wins, the money is doubled, tripled, or whatever the rate is. This rate is set by the bookie, who decides how many times more money will be earned on which horse. If the horse is lazy, then the chances of winning are less, so its rate is the highest. 1 to 20 means bet 1 rupee and take 20 rupees to win it. Similarly, the horse whose chances of winning are high, its rate is the lowest because everyone is betting money on it. If you look at it, the person who has put money on the most lazy horse earns the most money, and even if his horse wins, he earns 20 times. Charlie spent all his life sucking his lazy greyhounds with medicine and sucking his lazy dog. In this way, he used to deceive the bookies. And because betting was not legal at that time, the rules were also not very special. In 1956, an incident occurred that plunged Charlie into debt to the nose. He gave drugs to his lazy dog as usual and put all the money on it. But nature probably accepted something else. Due to the wrong effect of the medicine, not only did the dog lose, but his backbone also broke due to falling. At that time, Barney was 16 years old and took his father's loss to his heart. This one loss pushed the whole family into debt. Barney had to leave school and work in the factory so that he could support his father's debts. For the next 18 months, they worked day and night, and all the money they earned was spent on returning the bookies. This was the time when Barney saw the dangerous and dark side of gambling very closely. After this, Barney did a lot of work in his life, but he only suffered losses everywhere. Sometimes he opened a betting shop, sometimes a pub. He also took a step in music management, but it didn't work out there either, even started smuggling. He started smuggling cross-border razor blades, but one day there was a war on the border and the sound of bullets terrified Barney. His heart was always stuck in horse racing and gambling. Eventually, he decided to take a step in the professional world of gambling. Even after cheating his father, he made his first income from here. By 1975, he made a lot of money in the world of gambling. Many times his tricks worked, sometimes he would drown in debts. The situation got to the point where the bookies were scared to hear Barney's name. They wouldn't let him play the game, or the horses that had the highest rate, they would immediately lower the rate. This time Barney was in debt of £12,000, and he had only one way out of this mess. Here, a crazy idea was born in his mind. Barney contacted an old friend of his and asked him for a horse with a very bad record. This horse was named Yellow Sam, which was the nickname of Barney's father. This horse had a very bad record. In the last 9 races, he had a worse position than 8th. Barney adopted a very clever strategy. He deliberately made the horse run in such lands and such races that were against his temperament. This further reduced Yellow Sam's official rating to the point that he became eligible for handicap racing, while in reality, Yellow Sam was a horse that ran fast on hard ground. Barney got Yellow Sam under-handicapped so that when the real race came, he could run fast. On June 26, 1975, he chose a national race to take part in the Bellewstown Racecourse. This was a handicapped race, Mount Hanover Handicap Hurdle. But until now, whatever he did was only a part of his planning. There was also a special reason to choose the Bellewstown track. There was only one phone booth for communication. Whenever there was a race in that era, people from all over the country started investing money on their favorite horses many hours before. The betting shops were connected to the bookies. The horse that cost more money, the bookies from the shops would tell them and reduce the rate of that horse. But the rule was that once the race started, the rate would be locked. Barney thought that if he could somehow block the only phone line of the Bellewstown Racecourse at the last moment, then the connection between the bookies and the betting shops would break, and Yellow Sam's rate would remain 1 to 20 till the last moment. But this job had to be done in such a way that no one would have any doubt. Even if the bookies found out, they would lower the rates of all the horses. The success of this plan would be possible only when Barney's trustworthy friends would support him. He chose 300 people in the whole island who would invest money on Yellow Sam at the last moment. For this, Barney had given them a cash envelope of £50 to £300. For this planning, Barney had collected £15,000, which at that time was his entire life savings. If this plan failed, he would not only be destroyed, but he would have to go to jail under the burden of debt. Now came the day of the race. The gambling started at the betting shops many hours earlier. As expected, Yellow Sam had the highest rate because its official rating was very weak. The last 25 minutes before the race started, a man named Benny reached the public phone booth of Bellewstown Racecourse. He was a trustworthy friend of Barney, and he had to take over the public phone booth. He picked up the phone and deliberately started crying. For a while, the people in the queue tolerated, but he said that his aunt is sick and is on the verge of death. It is very important for me to talk to her. Many people took part in his grief, but the bookies standing in the same line had a lot of trouble. Barney had given him some instructions that if anyone tries to take the phone from you, break the phone with anger, but do not let anyone else call from there at any cost. For 25 minutes, Benny kept talking to his sick aunt and cried. As soon as the race started, Benny kept the receiver and came out crying and disappeared somewhere. Meanwhile, the people of Barney, who were spread all over the country, put money on Yellow Sam. Yellow Sam's rate was only 1 to 20, and it was locked as soon as the race started. The betting managers tried to call on the track immediately so that its rate could be reduced, but they always got the phone busy. The bookies on the track had no idea what storm had come outside. At that time, Barney himself was present in the racecourse, but he was watching the race with the help of binoculars, hiding in the bushes to avoid the eyes of the bookies. When the race started, Yellow Sam showed an amazing speed with his jockey. Even his favorite horse, Silver Road, was a failure in front of him. Yellow Sam easily crossed 13 hurdles and won the race with a length of 2.5 meters. When the race was over and the bookies found out what had happened to them, there was a lot of commotion. He found Benny, who had taken over the phone booth. But he said, "It's a miracle, my aunt is better now." And he also refused to recognize Barney. Now it was the turn of the bookies to give money to Barney. Barney's total investment in this game was £15,000, which he had to get 20 times more. That's £300,000, which is now $35 million. The bookies paid this money in notes of £1 each in anger, which made a total of 108 sacks. This coup became headlines all over Ireland and the UK. Barney Curley became a legend overnight. The most important thing was that he didn't break any law. He just took advantage of the system's weakness and made it his weapon. After this incident, the bookies changed their rules and made it mandatory to have at least a 30-minute time frame for big bets. Barney Curley made several small and big gambles after 1975. But the coup of 2010 and 2014 proved that his mind was as fast at the age of 70. In early 2023, Barney Curley died of cancer at the age of 81. His death, the world of horse racing presented him as a tribute to the genius and Robin Hood of racing. Because he was such a person who on the one hand knew the skill of looting the system and on the other hand, he had the courage to spend the same money on the poor. I hope you will like and share this video of Decode TV. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.